So I think my screen is visible. Let me know. Okay, so I hope I'm audible. Okay, so this is the folder that I have created. Okay, and in this folder we will start our JavaScript code. Okay, so this is really basic from very scratch. So this is going to be fundamental for everything like React, Next, Angular, Node, anything for Gen AI as well. Okay, so the first thing is we have to create a npm package. Okay, so make sure that you have node and npm installed in your machine. So if you install node, uh, npm is by default there, so just check your node version. So currently I have a node 22 by the time I'm recording this video. Okay, so you can check and always install latest version. Also check you will have npm also installed, so we have both the things. So now node is just a compiler for javascript. So what is that? You can create a javascript file, for example app.js. Okay, and let's say ki I am writing something hello world, and if I have to run it, I will run it like node app.js. Okay, so this is the only step, like node and app.js you can run directly. Okay, now you can tell me like which javascript feature you are not aware about. Okay, I think you are aware about most of the things like variables, function. Okay, so do you know the difference between let and where? So if you know the difference between let and where, we can go ahead. Okay, or do you want me to explain? Okay, explain. No. Okay, so you know what is the difference between let and where. Okay, fine. Okay, still I will explain about let and where. Okay, so for example if I have to declare a variable, we have to declare like where a is equal to 10. Okay, and let b is equal to 20. Okay, like this. uh, but as you said you know already, let's move ahead. Let's start with the backend perspective. Let's create a node js express.js application. Okay, so the first thing is that we have to create a express application. So let's we are using express framework for the backend. So let's open the official documentation for the express. Okay, so you will see a getting started here, getting started, and then installation. So if you read these instructions carefully, so we have these commands. Okay, so first you create a folder and then go inside the folder. Okay, and then run this command. Okay, so we are already in the folder. This is the folder mon. Okay, and here we can create the package. Okay, so we have to use this command. So use npm init command to create package json file for your application. So for example, current my application name is mon, so we are inside mon folder. So if you check, I am inside mon folder. Okay, so here what we can do is create a package. Okay, so what is the command? npm init, and after you enter this command prompts you number of things such as the name, version of your application. Okay, so whenever you are learning something, I recommend you to follow the documentation. Okay, this is the place where I also learn everything. Okay, so I'm just reading. Okay, npm init, and then it's asking me few things. Okay, for example, it's asking me package name. By default it's mon. Okay, so let's give a package name to do. Okay, to do, enter, version 1.0.0. okay, description, enter, entry point is the which is the main file of my application. Okay, so I will keep it app.js, enter, test command, none as of now, git repository nothing, keywords nothing, author you can write your name, you are writing this code. Okay, by default license ISC, type common JS. Okay, and press OK. So what is going to happen? It's going to create a package.json file. If you see, it will create a package.json file. So if you open that file and if you see, there is a name of the package that we mentioned, version of the package, description. Okay, all these things. We are going to change a lot of things after this. Okay. Okay, so let's keep this package.json as it is for now. I'm closing it, and now let's clear the terminal. Let's go back to documentation. So there they are asking keep the entry point index.js. Okay, so if if you open package.json and if you check the main file, we have app.js, but they are saying keep it index.js. So let's change it, index.js, right click, rename, index, fine. And then what is, oh no, sorry, I made a mistake. Enter app.js. They are saying ki by default it's going to be index.js, keep it app.js. So sorry, let me correct that. Let's keep it app.js, right click, rename, app.js. Okay, after that we have to install express package. There are two commands. This is the one we have to use, not this one, -- save. We don't have to use this one. So paste this command. Okay, so now if you check package.json, express as a dependency is installed in your application node.js. Okay, in our package.json, express package is installed, and once you install, it will create node modules folder, and it is going to create package lock JSON file. Okay, Now listen carefully why this file is created, package log.json and node modules. We are creating our own package. What is the name of the package? To do. And now our package is dependent on this external package. Our package version is 1.00 and the package we dependent on has a version 5.1.0. Okay. Every packages uses external packages. For example, our package to do is using external package express. So if you observe, let me open the code of express package. Let's go to browser, express, GitHub. So if you check, this is the code of express package. So every package has a package.json. So let's open. If you see, the name of the package is express. Similarly, we are creating our own package. Express is the external package. It has its own name, its own version, and this package can also be dependent on other packages, correct? So if you check, this is the external package that Express.js depend on, like our package depend on Express. So if you open package log.json file and if you search express, you will see that express, we are dependent on express. We are checking package log.json file, and if you check that express also depend on other packages. For example, accept, and if I check accept also depend on some other packages. So all the dependency tree, the package which depend on other package and other package and other package, that all the dependency is mentioned in the package log.json file. That's why this file is very huge. Okay, and all these packages are installed in node modules folder. That's why this file is very big. Okay, let me know in the comment if you haven't understood. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let's go back to documentation, what they are saying. Okay, next step, hello world. Okay, so in our app.js file, we can put this much code. So copy this much code, open app.js, paste it. Okay, fine. After that, you just have to run this command. So I am not reading everything, but when you follow the documentation, try to read everything. So after that, we have to run this command, as I said, node app.js. Okay, so output is application started, like example app listening on port 3000. So express, what is the use of express is to create a server. So if you check the code, let's understand. The first line, we are just importing a express from express package. After that, we are creating the instance of a express, and here we have just defined a port number. And here if you see app.get, so we are creating REST API. What is the concept? REST API. So REST API have some rules. So what are the rules? So a REST API has some endpoints. For example, get, post, put, delete and patch. So these are the endpoints methods. These are the HTTP methods that REST API provides, and we are creating REST API. Currently we have only one API. Okay, first API, first API, so what is this first API? It returns hello world. What is HTTP method? HTTP method is a get. Okay, because we have written get here. Okay, so now let's test our server. We have created our server, we have started our server on port number 3000. So let's test our server. So for that, in VS Code you can install extension Postman. Postman is the extension to test the API. I have already installed Postman. So go to Postman and create new HTTP request. So here you have to select a method. So whatever method you have written here, you have to select the same method. So we are using get, so we will select get here, and our server has started on same machine. Same machine means localhost. So http :/ localhost : port number is 3000. After that we have just written /. So just mention // here, enter, and then we will get a response. We are getting a response. So if I add / and hello, then after I change anything in the code, I have to restart my server, restart, and then here we have mentioned hello, we have restarted the server, and then go to Postman again, type hello, send request, we are getting hello world. Okay, so let's create another API. We have created only one API. Let's create one more API. So you tell me what I have to do. So I have to write okay, let me turn off Copilot. App dot get, and here first parameter is the path /hello 2, comma, second parameter is the function. This is a function, so you can just copy paste it. See, you can write it also like this: round brackets, arrow, curly bracket, round brackets, and then arrow, and then curly bracket, and in the curly bracket press enter, and in the round bracket mention response and request, comma, response. Here the first parameter is the request that is coming from the Postman, and the response parameter is the response that will go back to the Postman. So here we are going to send response dot. When you send response, you can set the response status. Every HTTP request, after you make a HTTP request, you get a response. Along with the response, you have HTTP like status, like 404, 201. Okay, so we can set the status 200. 200 means okay, and we are going to send JSON as a response. We are going to send a JSON as a response. So JSON has a key and value, hello world, from hello to API. So this is the second API. Okay, second API, this is the first API. So I will write it here and in comments, second API hello to. And what is the HTTP method? HTTP method is get only. Okay, here also get, here also get. So what is the difference? Both are get. Then what is the difference? The difference is this route. If you check, first route is hello and second route is hello to. That is the difference. That is a unique identifier between two APIs. So you can create multiple get APIs, but you have to mention different paths. Okay, so hello is working. It's giving hello world in response. If you check hello to and send, okay, I am getting error. You cannot get hello to. The reason is I have to restart the server. Let's restart. Okay, and hello send, we are getting response. Okay, now the problem is I have to restart server again and again. Okay, that is the problem. So how can we resolve it? So as a normal software engineer, just like everyone else, just search on ChatGPT. Okay, so I know the what we have to do, but let's understand the problem. We need to restart server again. What to do while developing Node.js app? Okay, so you will face lot of issues like this, but you have to be creative and understand the problem. Ask. So it's saying install nodemon. Okay, so install nodemon. So if you check the command is different. npm install -g nodemon, but read it carefully. All you guys do is just search and copy paste the command. Don't do this, but try to understand. So it's saying that install nodemon globally or as a dev dependency globally. So if you don't understand what is globally means, ask another question, what is globally? Your goal should be learning express, not just making it run somehow. So if you read what is globally, then you will understand what it means. Okay, so be curious, ask right questions. Okay, now let's install. Let me stop this server, install nodemon. Okay, so I am getting an issue, I am getting an error. So let me take a help of Copilot. Let's see if it can fix. Okay, I think this is not the solution. Let me copy this issue. I know the issue, what is the issue, but let's try to learn like I don't know. Like everyone else, I'll just paste. Okay. Okay, but when I search the same issue on the internet and Stack Overflow, I'll get something else which actually resolves. Okay, so we have to use sudo for this, for my machine only, but in your machine it will not give you error if you are using Windows. Okay, so I think it has installed nodemon, and now after you install nodemon, so nodemon is also a package. So let's read that package. Let's read its documentation. Usage, like how to use this package. So NodeMon wraps your application so that you can pass all the arguments you would normally pass to your app. Okay, so the command is NodeMon and file name. So in our case, NodeMon app.js. Okay, so when I press Ctrl S, server is restarting automatically. If you check the console, if I change something, let's add a dot, server is restarting. Now we don't have to worry about restarting our server. Okay, great. So let me remove these comments now. I hope you have understood that we have created two APIs. Okay. So as I said, there are 5 methods: get, post, put, patch and delete. So let's try another one, like app dot post, and here let's say add and comma, first parameter is request, comma, second parameter is response, and response dot status to 200 dot json, message is a key colon value, I am post API, I am post API. Okay, let's test post API. So in a postman, let's create a new HTTP request. New HTTP request. Here what we have to select, post HTTP colon / local host colon 3000 / add is the name of the API, correct, and this is the post. So let's send. So we are getting response from add. Okay, so what is the difference between get and post? We can pass data to HTTP request. When we are making post request, we can pass data, and in get API we don't pass data. For example, if you are doing login or registration, you want to pass email and password, so you will pass the email and password using post API. For example, your API name will be login. Okay, so now this is how you can create APIs, as many APIs as you want. So you have to write these APIs in between. So this where you have imported all the imported express, created instance, and after that at last you have started the server. This is the code for starting server. So in between you are writing all your APIs. Later we will segregate this in different files, but you have to try this in your machine, this much part. Okay, so let me remove the post API and let's focus on these two get APIs. Okay, so let me give semicolon everywhere. Okay, so if I name this API, first API hello, and if I name second API hello, what will happen? So this might someone might ask you this question in an interview, like if you write the same API name, what will happen? What response you will get? Hello 1 or hello 2? Okay, so let's check. So if I write my API name is hello, what is the name of the API? Hello. Here is also hello, but what response we will get, hello 1 or hello 2? Okay, let me write it exactly similar, hello 2. Okay, so let's check, send. So we are getting a response. I think server did not start, restart. Okay, I think something is wrong with my Postman extension, to be honest. Okay, let me close this and let's install Postman. Let me download it, because I am 100% sure that you will not get such response. So let me install Postman real quick. Okay, so Postman is ready. So here let's use http colon double slash localhost colon 3000, enter, slash hello, enter. So we are getting hello 1. This is the correct response, guys. Okay, so I'll recommend there is some issue with the Postman from like VS Code extension. So you can you can install Postman externally and you can use it. Okay, so I'm hitting the same API hello 1, but I'm getting a response from first one. Okay, so what if I write this one above this one, and if I check what will be the response, hello 2, because it's it's giving the priority to the first one. Okay, even if you write the same API name, it will prefer the first one. Okay, so I hope you understood. Okay, so Express is used only for the backend, but what you can do, when someone visits your page, you can respond with a static HTML page. Later it can be React or Angular, but from that HTML, instead of Postman, from that HTML we will access all our APIs. Okay, so when someone visits our website, for example app.get visits our server on root, then we will we will send them a static HTML page. Okay, so like static HTML page, so I also don't remember all the syntax. Okay, so I don't want this. What I want is, I want to create a folder static, and this static folder is directly accessible from our port number. Okay, so for example, if I have index.html, and we'll have our HTML code h1 hello I am server. Okay, so okay, how to make a folder static? So go to Express, static files. Okay, static. So I'll comment this one. Okay, and let's go to browser, and let's do localhost 3000, enter. Let's see what we get. So we haven't written anything here. Let me comment this one also. Refresh. Okay, so there is nothing on a root. There is nothing on the root. We haven't written anything, so we are getting a issue. So if I write index.html, we are not getting anything. Okay, so if I uncomment this part, so in between what we have done is make a static folder statically accessible. So let's refresh. So that means this static folder is directly accessible. So what you can keep whatever files in this folder, and people can directly access by your IP address and port number. For example, if I keep a file like test.py and print hello, so in response, if I write let's say test.py, you will get a Python file in response. See, I got the Python file as a response, so it's asking me to download it. Okay, so we can open that file. Okay, let me quit it. So what files we can keep? We can keep HTML and CSS files in a static folder, and when someone visits our server on the root, in response we will send the static HTML file. Okay, so correct, this is what I wanted. So let's refresh. So let me close this. Let's restart the server and check if it is working. Localhost 3000, enter. Okay, so whenever someone comes to our server, first we are sending them a HTML file. Okay, this HTML file, and then it renders in their browser, and we can give them other options like buttons and actions, and from that we will call our other APIs that we have, that we are going to create. For example, app dot get, let's create an API. When you say hello, it says hello world. Okay, slash hello. Okay, so in response we are going to send a response in a JSON format. So response dot status 200 dot JSON. So we are developing REST APIs, so every response and request are going to be in a JSON format. Okay, later we will use MCP server, but for now let's understand what is REST API. Okay, so when I get a request hello, we are going to send a response in a JSON format as a message is a key and value is a hello world. Okay, so this is our HTML file. In HTML, let's create a button which will call our hello API. We can call this hello API from Postman. If I send, we are getting response, but who are going to use these APIs? These APIs will be used by the front-end application. For now, a plain HTML and JS we are using, but later you can use React, Angular, Vue, or mobile app also, anything you want. So here simple get call from server. Here syntax might get little tricky and difficult to understand, but we have ChatGPT now, so it's fine. Okay, so in HTML, I hope you understand the basic things like button tag, ID, okay, and then this script tag. In a script tag, what we are going to do, whenever someone like click on get data, we are going to call this hello API. Okay, so on click of button, on click get data, this is the function that we are going to write, function get data. Okay, this is the function. I am taking a help of Copilot, no worries, but I understand what I am writing, so I can take whatever I want and skip whatever I don't want. So we have written this function. This function will be called, and here we will use a fetch API, fetch, and in fetch we have to write slash hello, because we have written slash hello, so here we have to write slash hello, and then dot then we have to write. So what is this dot then catch? You must understand what is promise in JavaScript. So response dot body dot then body. So if you don't understand what is then block, what it is, then let me know in the comment. I'll record another video for that. Okay, so here response.json. So here I am printing the response that we got from the API. So let's check in the browser. So we have to click on this button, so it will call this function, and this function will print this response. So we have to open this developer tools. In developer tools, go to network and select fetch. Okay, refresh. Let's call get data. It called hello API. Headers, it's calling hello API, and if you check the console, we are printing the response. Okay, so we are printing the response, but now we have to set this response in div. So how can we do that? So this is the div where we will set the result response from the API. So here const result equal to document.getElement by id data, and here result dot inner HTML is equal to body dot message. Body is the response in a JSON format. This is the whole body dot message. So we will get this value, this string. Okay, let's refresh, call. So we are getting the response. So we have created a simple API hello, and we are using a plain HTML to call this API and show the response. Okay, so this is what is the DOM manipulation. This is where we are doing the DOM manipulation. So before you start any framework, React, Next, Angular, so what you have to do, you have to learn about a DOM manipulation first when you are learning about any front-end framework. So this is going to be really fast, as we have code suggestions, okay, Copilot. So this is not going to be difficult. All you have to do is understand as much as you can, so it will become easy for you. Okay, so even if I show you the official documentation for the Next.js is a framework, so it will ask you first to understand the DOM manipulation. So if we follow the documentation, start learning, chapter 1, 2, So here also in this documentation we will have to learn about DOM manipulation first. So as it's showing in the documentation, updating UI with JavaScript. Okay, so this is the first API. Okay, so let's create another API, a post API, where we will send two numbers and server will add these two numbers and it will send a response back to HTML and we will show it. So app, so first we have to develop API, test API, and then we will go to first we will develop the API, we'll test it on the Postman, and then we will integrate it into our index.html. So let's start creating API. So let me write a command, API to add two numbers. Okay, so it's suggesting me, so let's read it if it is correct, or let me turn off the Copilot for now and let me write it now. App dot post, we have to use post because we are expecting data when someone is calling our API. So in post, first parameter is you have to decide the route. What is the route? Add, comma, in round brackets, first parameter is request, comma, response, arrow function, curly bracket. In curly bracket we have to write all the business logic and the response that we have to send back. Okay, so how can we get the data from the postman or post request body? So we are receiving request, this is the request that we are receiving, and in a request we have request body, and in a body we can have those two numbers like num1. So I will save it, const num1 is equal to like this, const num2 is equal to request dot body dot num2. Okay, and then what we have to do, total, const total is equal to num1 plus num2, and here response dot status 200 dot JSON, and key is total colon total, sorry, total. So this is the key name and this is the value. Okay, but there is a problem. So we are expecting the body will have the num1 and num2. So how? In the postman, if you create a HTTP request, like here you have to select post HTTP localhost 3000 / add, because our API name is add, and then we have to select a body here, select a body. When you select a body, you will see a drop down here, what kind of body that we are going to send. There are multiple types, okay, but here it doesn't know like what type of body I am getting. So we have to mention in our code what type of body that you will receive. But let's see, let's try it. Select raw and select JSON. So as I said, every request data and response data will be always be in the JSON, because we are developing REST API. Whether it's Python or Spring Boot or Node.js or .NET, we are always sending and receiving data in the JSON only. Okay. So raw and JSON, and here we have to pass JSON. First is a num1 10 comma, second one is num2 colon 20. See, we are passing values, we are passing JSON, we have selected a JSON, but in the code we haven't mentioned anywhere that we are receiving a JSON. Okay, so let's send. So we are getting a error because of that only, because of this issue that we haven't mentioned what kind of body is this. Okay, so what to do? So before you have written API, just above that use app dot use and express dot JSON. So what it is going to do, before someone calls your API, it is going to convert the request body into JSON format. That's why we have written this above your API. So now server is restarted. Let's check. Let's go back to Postman. send. Okay, now we are getting. Okay, so I have written this, but instead of writing here, let's move it to the top. So before every API, every request body will be converted into JSON. Okay, so now our API is working fine. Okay, so let's go to HTML, and here I have turned off Copilot. So let's understand it step by step. So first thing is we need input type number, enter num1, and then br. Let's check the output, how it is looking. When you are developing, just keep checking the output every time. Okay, this is fine. Let's clear the network. You can clear the network using this button, so it will clear all the API calls. And also keep your eye on console also. If there is any error, you will see that error in the console. So here also you keep your eye. If there is any error in the backend, you will see it here. Okay, so enter number 2, input type number, okay. So we have taken 2 inputs. Here we have to mention IDs, num1 ID, num2. To be honest, it's very like difficult to write code without Copilot. Okay, so we have to use script tag, and after that we have to use button add, refresh. Okay, we can see the add button, but below add button we have to display the result. So div hash result. So it's a div with a ID result. So this is where we will show the total. And in script tag, let's write a function add a small, and here on click add. So when someone clicks on the button, add function will be called. So this much code, let's test this much code first. So let's see, if I click on the add button, is it calling the add function? Let's check it. Console log, add clicked, refresh. Okay, and click on the add. Okay, it's working. But if it is not working, in your case, check the code properly, the name of the function. Okay, so after that, okay, this much is working. Now let's bind this to input tag with variables. So const num1 element equal to document dot get element by id. Here pass, what is the id? Num1. So here I have to write num1. Okay, and if I print num1 element, what will be the output? So if I write a value 0, the initial value is 0, and if I print num1 element, what will be the output? Most of you will say 0, but it's wrong, because what you are doing is you are getting an element by id. You are not getting the value of the element, so you are getting a whole element. So what is the name of the method? Get element by id. So you will get a whole element here. Okay, so let's refresh. So this is the whole input element, this you are getting. So if you want a value out of it, then you have to write dot value, refresh. in current value is 0. Okay, fine. Same for num2. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to pass these two numbers to our API, to our server. So what we have to do, so this is the part where you have to remember the syntax, okay, or just study about it. So we are using a fetch API, fetch JS, okay. So you can open this official documentation MDN web, okay, or you can use ChatGPT also to understand, okay. So let's use ChatGPT, explain fetch API. So you can read about it, and then what you can do, see, first I'll explain it, then we'll take a help of ChatGPT, so you'll understand what to ask to ChatGPT, okay. So first we are we used Postman to test our API, okay, and it's working fine. All we have to do, use this API from HTML. So in Postman, if you check on the right side, there is a code symbol. So if you click on the code, and if you select the language of your choice, for example JavaScript fetch, so it will explain you the code to call the API from JavaScript, okay. So let's understand that. So here we have to use fetch. The first parameter is the URL /add, and the second parameter is a object. In object we have to write a method. Name of the method is a post. You can see the method name is post. Just a second, guys. Hello. हाँ बोला. हाँ तिथे बिल्डिंग नंबर 4 मध्ये जाऊ ना. आतमध्ये सोसायटीमध्ये बिल्डिंग नंबर 4 विचारा. येस 18. येस. Okay, so method is post, and then we have to pass the body. We have to write some code here, okay. JSON dot stringify, and in stringify we have to pass the object that we have passed here, exactly same. Okay, so we have to pass 10 and 20, but we have to take this 10 and 20 from the input tag. So what we have to do, num1 element dot value, num2 element dot value, okay. So this is the method and the body, and we have to pass the header as well, okay. Header defines what is the content of the body. So before you start these sessions, just try to understand how HTTP request response work, what is the method, header, body. Try to understand that. So let me know if you want explanation about that. So headers, new headers. Here we have to pass header name, content type, and value is application slash JSON. Okay, so this is going to give you the response like dot then result dot JSON and then dot then body. Let's print the body. Don't get confused with the syntax. We'll definitely use Copilot, but try to understand. Okay, refresh 10 20 add. Okay, so we are getting total, but okay, so we have to pass this as a number, so we have to convert this into number before we pass. Parse int, because it's getting passed as a string, so parse int refresh 10 20 add, we are getting 30. Okay, just a second guys.